Welcome back to the She Inspires podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Jade, board certified family medicine physician, wellness and weight loss specialist, owner of the membership medical practice in Las Vegas, Inspire Primary Care, and I am so excited that you've joined us today. This is the space where busy women balance, talking about business and wellness and how we balance all the things together with joy, and I am excited about today's topic. We are talking about balancing wearing many hats. Balancing wearing many hats. I love this topic because I'm often asked different questions. How do you balance motherhood and business? How do you balance entrepreneurship with all the other demands going on? So this episode is going to focus on how I balance some of the multiple hats I wear as a physician entrepreneur. And I'm often asked about this, and I'm super excited. At the time of this recording, in a few weeks, I will be at the HINT Summit in Denver speaking on this very topic with hundreds of physicians from across the country on how I balance business and wellness with our membership medical practice at Inspire Primary Care. So this is a little sneak peek, and I'm excited to share some of the things, 3 things in particular, that have been helpful for me. I am in no way perfect at these things. It is always going to be a journey of reevaluating and looking at things and seeing what needs to be prioritized and reprioritized. But some of the things that help me to balance the many hats, here we go. Number 1 for me is going to be time management. Time management is so important because there are lots of things going on. We have, the children, we have the business, we have the practice, and it's like, okay, so what are you going to say yes to and what are you going to say no to? So a big part of time management for me is saying no, building that muscle of saying no. Because what I've learned is when I'm saying no to some things, I'm able to say yes to the things that need to be prioritized in that season. And so how has your no muscle been lately? How have you been able to say no? Has that been challenging for you? I definitely encourage you to use that muscle more and build that muscle up, because that is going to help with our time management. Another thing for me, especially with growing a business, has been, networking is so important with growing a successful business. But what I learned is I have to do strategic networking. And earlier in my entrepreneurship journey, I would get invited to something and I would say yes. I would get invited somewhere else and I'd say yes. And then I'd find myself stretched and tired and just unable to fully do all the things I was called to do. So I learned that I needed to strategically network. I had to think about, okay, is this going to be the space and place I need to be for my ideal audience, for my ideal clients, for the people I'm called to serve? And if the answer to that is no, then the answer has to be, no, I won't be able to attend, right? And that's not always the case. So if you invite me somewhere out in the community and I can't come, don't assume that it's because, I don't think that it's my ideal client there, right? But the strategic networking helps with my time management. The next thing for time management is checklists. I live by a checklist. And some of this depends on your personality too, right? I'm a person who loves a checklist. My husband, for example, is a person who does not want a checklist. But for me, having an organized daily checklist that's in the order of my priorities, in the order of what needs to be done for sure, what could be done if I have time, what can be done the next day, that's really helpful for me to know, okay, I'm in the office between this time and this time. This is my work time. These are my top priorities to complete, all right? Another thing I love is timers that helps me with my time management. When I have a task, I do power hours sometimes where I'm like, okay, I'm going to go through all the lab work for my patients. We're going to do that for the next hour. Hey Siri, set a 1-hour timer. And then I laser focus on that task for that hour. Once that's complete, we'll set another timer. We're going to go through all the text messages and emails. We're going to do that. So that really helps me too. I sometimes call that time blocking, but having that timer going helps me to stay focused, laser focused for that specific task. And another thing with time management is going to be what I like to call hard stops. And that means if I'm coming into the office at a certain time, I know exactly what time is my hard stop time to leave. Meaning I'm going to get as much done as I can within that time. But once that time comes, say it's 3 o'clock that day, say it's 4 p.m. that day. Once that time hits, It's laptop down, phone down, in the car, and now we're into personal time. And that really helps with keeping myself going, not getting burnt out. So time management, all of those are some of my time management hacks that help me to balance some of the many hats. All right, number 2. You already know I'm going to say this, but I'm going to say this. It's going to be your personal wellness. So my personal wellness is a big part of what helps me to balance the many hats. I share often about my morning routine. In this season, I always used to tell you guys it was Peloton and prayer, right? Prayer time, my time with God is essential in the morning, devotional time, and Peloton. But I've added another piece. So prayer, Peloton, or pickleball, okay? But those are a part of my morning routine. Really, really, really important for me to pour into myself before I start pouring out to others. Quality sleep, making sure I'm getting, ideally I would get at least 7 hours of sleep, but let me be real. I try to get at least 6 consecutive hours of sleep. That way I have the mental clarity the next day to get the tasks done I need. My stress management tips or my stress management strategies that I use, my self-care and my breaks, my vacation time, my exercise regimen, my healthy nutrition, whole food nutrition regimen primarily. These are going to be the things that also help me to balance the many hats. Having a personalized wellness plan. Now, if you're an Inspire Primary Care member here in Las Vegas, we do wellness visits. I'm a wellness focused physician. I do personalized wellness plans with our members using my trademarked method called the Inspired Health Method. So I put myself on the Inspired Health Method, okay? And that is so key to helping me balance the many hats. And then number 3, all right, y'all ready? Number 3 is commitment to the why. Commitment to the why. The thing that helps me to balance the hats, first of all, is God. He is what really helps me to balance everything in my life. But remembering and revisiting the why. Why am I doing this? It can't be for money, y'all. Money cannot be why we're doing this. It has to be for more. For me, it's to fulfill my purpose. It's to fulfill the reasons God has placed me on this earth to do what I'm called to do in this world while I'm here. And so I have to remember and revisit the why, because as cute as things look on social media, y'all, entrepreneurship has ups and downs. We already know life has ups and downs, but entrepreneurship is not for the weak, okay? And when I look at the journey and what helps me to balance the many hats, it's reflecting back on, why am I doing this? Oh, okay. It's because God called me into medicine. It's because medicine is ministry for me. It's because I'm called to help people prevent and reverse chronic disease. I'm called to help people transition to a healthier lifestyle and a healthier weight. Then I'm able to reflect on the member wins that are happening in the practice, right? I'm able to celebrate how that is happening in real life with our members at Inspire Primary Care. It helps me to remember the why, helps to refill my cup, helps me to keep going, and helps me to balance the many hats. So I hope that this is helpful to you. When I get asked, how do you balance? These are 3 of the things. Definitely, if you're one of my physician friends that are listening, join me in Denver at the Hint Summit at the end of the month, because we're going to be going deeper into this, okay? I have physician specific and physician entrepreneur specific balance things I'm going to be sharing. I can't wait. It's going to be so exciting. But I hope to the women listening that this was helpful. If you found any value in this, please leave the podcast a review. Let me know how we're doing and let us know what you found value in, okay? Definitely drop a comment if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Leave us a review. I just am so thankful to be doing this. Share the podcast with other busy professional women in your life that are looking to balance business and wellness. If you are a part of our social media family, or if you're not yet, join us on Instagram at Dr. Jade MD. Definitely join us there and on YouTube at Dr. Jade MD. And I'll see you next time on the She Inspires podcast.